Broncos fans, let's be honest for a second. Are you truly ready to believe that everything is fine with Bo Nix? Or is there a part of you deep down that still needs to see it with your own eyes before you trust what the Broncos are telling you?
Because right now, Denver is sitting in one of the most fascinating positions in the entire NFL. This is not a rebuilding team anymore. This is not a franchise simply hoping to sneak into relevance. The Broncos look dangerous. They look loaded. They look like a team with the roster, the coaching, the defensive identity, and the offensive upside to become a real problem in the AFC.
But there is one question hanging over everything. Bo Nix. And not just Bo Nix the quarterback, Bo Nix the leader, Bo Nix the engine of this offense, Bo Nix the player who was supposed to take that next leap and turn Denver from a good story into a legitimate AFC powerhouse. That is why this situation matters so much. Because if Bo Nix is healthy, if he is moving the way he needs to move, if he is throwing with confidence, if he is building chemistry with Jaylen Waddle, if he is fully locked into Sean Payton's system, then the Broncos may be one of the most dangerous teams in football. But if there is even the slightest setback, if this injury recovery costs him valuable time, if he misses key reps, if he cannot get comfortable with his new weapons early, then suddenly this entire conversation changes. And Broncos fans know it.
You can feel the excitement around this team. You can feel the belief coming back. Denver is not being discussed like a forgotten franchise anymore. The expectations are rising. The confidence is growing. The fan base is energized. A franchise record season ticket renewal rate tells you everything you need to know. People are buying in. People believe something special might be happening.
But belief and certainty are not the same thing. And that is where the tension begins. Sean Payton can say Bo Nix will be ready. The organization can say everything is on schedule. Everyone can use the usual phrases: ahead of time, progressing well, being smart, no major concern. But football fans have heard those words before. They know how this works. Teams do not always reveal everything. Coaches protect information. Injuries are managed carefully. And until the regular season injury report begins, there is no real requirement for Denver to give the public the full picture. So the question is not whether Sean Payton sounds confident. The question is whether Broncos fans should feel completely comfortable. And that answer is not so simple. Because Bo Nix already had the kind of season that changed the direction of the franchise. He gave Denver something it had been searching for: stability, energy, confidence, and a reason to believe the offense could finally become something more than just functional. Then the injury happened. The ankle issue, the broken ankle, the procedure, then another procedure. And even if the team says the second procedure was expected, even if they insist it is not a major surprise, it still creates a cloud of uncertainty. And that cloud matters. Because this is the offseason. This is when the foundation gets built. This is when the playbook gets sharpened. This is when chemistry is created. This is when a quarterback and his receivers learn the timing, the rhythm, the details, the little things that turn a good offense into a dangerous one. And Denver just added Jaylen Waddle. That is not a small addition. That is not just another name on the depth chart. Waddle brings speed. He brings explosiveness. He brings the ability to stretch the field and change defensive coverage. He gives Bo Nix a weapon that can force opponents to respect every blade of grass. But that kind of connection does not appear by magic. It takes work. It takes reps. It takes timing. It takes trust. And if you are Bo Nix, you want to be the one building that connection. You do not want Jarrett Stidham taking those reps. You do not want your backup developing rhythm with your new number one weapon while you are still limited. You do not want to enter training camp trying to catch up on chemistry that should have been built weeks earlier. That is why every missed practice matters. Every missed throw matters. Every missed route matters. People sometimes act like off-season reps are meaningless, but they are not. They are the quiet building blocks of a season. They are where confidence is developed before the pressure begins. They are where a quarterback learns how fast a receiver comes out of his break, how he adjusts against coverage, where he wants the ball, how he reacts when the play breaks down. For Denver, that matters even more because the expectations are no longer small. The Broncos are not just trying to survive, they are trying to compete.
And when you look at the AFC, the door might be more open than people want to admit. Buffalo is strong. Kansas City is always a threat. Other teams will have their arguments. But Denver's roster can stand in that conversation. The defense is real. The coaching staff is stable. Sean Payton is locked in on the offense. Vance Joseph remaining in Denver gives the Broncos continuity on the defensive side. That matters a lot.
This defense already showed it could keep Denver in massive games. It kept them alive when the pressure was high. It gave them a chance. And when you have a defense that strong, paired with an offense that could become explosive, that is when a team becomes scary.
But everything still comes back to the quarterback. That is the truth of the NFL.
A great roster can raise the floor. A great defense can keep you close. A brilliant coach can create advantages. But if the quarterback is not right, the ceiling changes. If Bo Nix is healthy, Denver's ceiling is high. If he is not, the entire structure becomes far more fragile.
And that is why Broncos fans should be excited, but they should also be alert.
Not panicked, not negative, not overreacting. Alert.
Because there is a difference between trusting the team and ignoring the warning signs. A second procedure is not nothing. A quarterback missing work is not nothing. A new receiver arriving while the starting quarterback is still recovering is not nothing. These are not reasons to declare disaster, but they are reasons to pay close attention. And let's be real, fans are not wrong for asking questions. Sometimes teams want fans to accept the cleanest version of the story. Everything is fine, nothing to see here. He will be ready. We are just being careful. But fans are smarter than that. They understand that a season can be shaped by the details nobody wants to talk about in May or June. A missed offseason can affect timing.
A limited camp can affect confidence.
An injury that lingers can affect mobility.
And for a young quarterback trying to make a second-year jump, every rep matters.
That is the emotional center of this entire story. Denver finally has momentum. Broncos fans finally have a team that feels like it is moving forward. There is real belief in the building. There is real excitement in the city. There is real pressure on the rest of the AFC to take Denver seriously.
But now, the franchise has to protect that momentum. Bo Nix does not need to be Superman in May. He does not need to prove everything during off-season workouts. But he does need to enter training camp ready to lead. He needs to be healthy enough to command the offense. He needs to be present enough to build chemistry with Waddle. He needs to show his teammates, his coaches, and the fan base that the injury is truly behind him. Because once the season begins, nobody will care about explanations. Nobody will care that the team was being cautious. Nobody will care that he was ahead of schedule. Nobody will care that the recovery process looked good in the spring. When Week 1 arrives, especially with a massive matchup against the Chiefs on the horizon, Denver will need its quarterback ready. Not almost ready, not protected by optimistic quotes, ready. And that is what makes this story so compelling. It is not just about an injury. It is about timing. It is about opportunity. It is about a franchise that may be standing at the edge of something special, but still has one major uncertainty to overcome. Broncos fans, this is where your emotions are completely justified. You should be excited. You should be proud of where this team is headed. You should believe Denver can be a serious AFC threat. But you are also allowed to be cautious. You are allowed to say, I need to see Bo Nix on the field before I fully believe this is nothing. Because that is not doubt. That is reality. And the reality is this: the Broncos may have the roster to shock the NFL. They may have the coach to unlock the offense. They may have the defense to keep them in every major game. They may have the weapons to create explosive plays and put fear into opponents. But without a fully healthy Bo Nix, all of that becomes harder. This is the season where Denver can force the league to respect them again. This is the season where the Broncos can move from being a promising team to being a true contender. This is the season where the AFC might have to stop treating them like a nice story and start treating them like a serious threat. But the entire journey starts with one question: how healthy is Bo Nix? And until we see him moving, throwing, leading, and connecting with Jaylen Waddle, that question will not go away. So now we ask you,
Are you buying the confidence coming from Sean Payton and the Broncos? Do you believe Bo Nix will be fully ready when training camp arrives? Or are you waiting to see it with your own eyes before you trust that Denver's biggest concern is already behind them? Because if Bo Nix is right, the Broncos might be ready to shake up the entire AFC.
But if this injury becomes more complicated than expected, then one of the most exciting teams in football could be facing pressure before the season even begins.
Drop your thoughts below, because this is not just another offseason update. This could be the storyline that decides whether the Denver Broncos become a true AFC powerhouse or whether one injury concern slows down their rise before it even starts.